Rainbow Six Siege only came out in like 2015, but in my opinion, the game's rightfully earned the title of being called a classic. It was one of the first modern games that made hero shooter games become really popular in the 2010s, and one of the best modern games to incorporate friendly fire, because talking shit in the game chat just isn't enough sometimes. Some people are demons. But even though I personally haven't played the game in years now, Rainbow Six isn't in any way, shape, or form losing momentum as far as its player base and overall traction, because the game's constantly been getting new updates and features since it was introduced almost a decade ago. And that detail alone shows the weight that the game carries in the gaming world. It shows that the gameplay is good enough to hook this many players coming back for years, and that Ubisoft is clinging on to the last good games that they have like their life is depending on it. But as one of the biggest and more popular multiplayer titles out there, Rainbow Six without a doubt has gotten into the hands of people who don't want to play fair. And that's the case with any multiplayer game really when you think about it, but with a community that can get as toxic and try-hardish, yes that's a word now, you would come to expect that there's an abundance of cheating players plaguing the game's player base. And one of these exploits that surprisingly some gamers even question if it is an exploit has led to unfair advantages for the console players on Rainbow Six Siege that shifts the gameplay in their favor. Now this exploit that I'm chatting about is called 𝘕𝐕, and basically it's a device or even software that you connect to your console, and the device allows you to connect your keyboard and mouse setup to said console and then use it in your game, which can be unfair if the game only allows for console control, since mouse and keyboard has way more range for movement than a controller stick. Now it should be noted that there are games on consoles with keyboard and mouse support, like they literally allow you to use your keyboard and mouse on a console game. Why you do that instead of just playing on PCs, none of my business, but regardless, there are games like that out there. However, Rainbow Six Siege is now one of them, and 𝘕𝐕 exploits have been a problem in the game for years. Well, luckily, back in April of this year, while Microsoft was completely fucking themselves from the inside, something I talked about back then, go check that out, they were also able to roll out a new feature for Rainbow Six called Mousetrap, which directly targeted these 𝘕𝐕 users as a way of reducing them in numbers. Now they could have just banned the players that use 𝘕𝐕 outright, but instead, Mousetrap is a feature that severely lags these players' gameplay, pretty much making the game unbearable until you remove your 𝘕𝐕 device, and then the game gradually gets back to normal. This was Ubisoft's way of handling the exploiters while still allowing them the chance of being able to play the game afterwards. And in theory, it sounds dope. A lot of people liked the idea when they first announced it. At the time, Ubisoft declared that they thought they were only going to be able to see a 30 to 40% decrease in these type of players. Now fast forward to just today, Ubisoft went on their blog post to announce that since Mousetrap's inclusion, the number of 𝘕𝐕 cheaters has gone down by 70%, a complete overshot from the original guesstimate that they originally had. It goes without saying that that's amazing news, especially in a day and age where game cheats are more prevalent than ever. Not saying that as if I have a folder on my desktop full of them or anything like that. Not like every fix that game studios try to roll out against cheaters, eventually the cheaters will find a workaround or a new thing to exploit, it's just the nature of things. In fact, earlier this year, 𝘕𝐕 users actually did find a temporary workaround for Mousetrap before it was patched soon after. So how long this feature is going to be effective is up for speculation, but hopefully Ubisoft can continue to keep their game exploit free and fun to play for as long as possible. So what do you guys think about Rainbow Six as it is right now, man? Feel free to leave a comment down below, and as always, leave a like on the video, subscribe, check out the Patreon, and I will see y'all